Hey guys, Bile here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to flip in the French chat R Quark, as well as in the French chat Drygore Pcs, now known as 90Weaps PCs. I'm doing these together just because their PCing methods are not just similar, but almost identical, and so there's no point in doing two videos that are almost exactly the same when I can just put them together. So here we go. As with my other videos, the description will have links to all of the different sections of the video, so if there's something you're wanting to see in specific, just check that out and you can skip directly to that part of the video. The main difference between Drygore Pcs, aka 90Weaps PC, and R Quark is the items that they do, and therefore the requirements are different. R Quark requires about 150 mil. If we look at their lowers line, you can do a Halloween mask, you can almost do a Santa, it depends on the current trends, and you can do an Easter egg, or two Easter eggs, well, not at the same time, but yeah. And then Drygore PCs is very different. Again, it really depends on current trends, but you need roughly 70 mil, that way you can do all of the offhand Drygores. You'll have much better profits with upwards of 100 mil, so you can do all items, and that continues to increase as you can do more items at the same time, but about 70 mil is what I would call is required for Drygore PCs. Next up would be the items that the French chats do, and we'll start with R Quark. R Quark does, starting off, they do edibles, which includes pumpkin, Easter egg, half full jug of wine. I think that's all of them. Then there's Halloween masks, that's just H-Ween in the Grand Exchange and everything. So yeah, H-Ween masks. After that, I'm not even sure what category, what I'd call this, but it's just the disc of returning. Let's see, they also do party hats, and then they do Santa, and then Christmas cracker. I'll just call that cracker. And all of those will be on the screen. But yeah, that is R Quark. Next up is the 90Weaps PC. I'm calling that because that's their new name and it better describes them. So they do Drygores, which is the level 90 melee weapons. They also do Ascension crossbows. Ascension, I think that's how it's spelled. And then they do the new seismic stuff. So those are all of the items that are done by the French chats. Next up will be the abbreviations. In R Quark, I would say the main thing to note is the difference between Halloween masks and party hats. Party hats are usually just referred to by their color. So if it's green party hat, it's just called green. If it's a red party hat, it's just called red. So you don't want to get those mixed up. Whereas if it's a Halloween mask, then it'll usually be called green H-Wing, just so you don't get those confused. I would say that's pretty much that's basically all of the abbreviations in R Quark. Next up would be Drygore PCs. I'm not actually going to open that French chat. But Drygore PCs makes it relatively easy. They have a basically streamlined way of abbreviating things. The main things to recognize are O is offhand. Then there's MH is main, it would actually be OH is offhand, but MH is main hand. And then if it's just a letter, like R is rapier, or L is longsword, and then M is mace. So if it's O, it's offhand L, then it's offhand longsword, so that would be offhand Drygore longsword. Or if it's MHR, then you've got main hand Drygore rapier. Aside from that, I wouldn't say there's too much. That's basically all of the abbreviations in there. Some people, because the level 90 range stuff is still new, some people call it like ACS or main hand ACS and stuff, but that's just basically the same as it is with the Drygores. As far as I know, there are no abbreviations for the level 90 mage gear, but you probably shouldn't take my word on that. Next in order would be the Grand Exchange limit, and this is one of the main reasons why R Quark is so popular, is because all rare, discontinued items are 2-4, and that's great because an Easter egg you may make 1 mil, but a party hat you may make 5 or 10 mil, and so every time you make profit, you know that you can use that exact same margin and make that profit again. So it's just double all the profits of a 1-4 French chat, plus it has much higher items. The second thing for Drygore Pcs, or 90Weaps PCs, all of those are 1-4, so you can only buy one main hand rapier every 4 hours. And it's not bad, because like seismic items you can make upwards of 20 mil just because they're so new, versus normal Drygores you make about 800k per flip, but it's really easy to do, easily make like 6 mil an hour, or every 4 hours. So yeah, that would be the Grand Exchange limit for these friends chats. As I explained in my Next and SS guide, if you haven't seen that, you should check it out. I'll link it on the screen right now. But other than Flipchat 1, there is no other friends chat that I'm aware of where there's a rule as far as changing your prices, and that's fine just because Flipchat 1 has lower items, so it's more necessary. But in here you use whatever prices you want based on the price checks that they give, and if you want to buy for max cash, then go for it. That's just how the French chat works. Next up would be the lines, and I've separated this by French chat because they of course have their own lines. So first off would be R Quark, and the first line, well, I'd call it the first in there, is the lowers. And lowers consists of green Halloween, blue Halloween, and red Halloween, and then Santa. Okay, so that's lowers. Next up would be edibles. That looks like it's spelled wrong, but yeah. So the order for this would be, first off is Easter, next is pumpkin, we'll just call that pump, whatever. Next up would be disc. I didn't know that was in there before. I learn stuff every day. And then lastly it would be wine, the half full jug of wine. The next line would be party hats. We'll just call that I don't know, pea hats, bats, whatever. And the order on that would be purple, yellow, green, and then red. Okay, and then I believe this is the last line. Yeah. Then the last line is hires, and that would be white, blue, and cracker. Okay, and those are all the ones that are above max cash. Okay, and those are all of the lines for R Quark. Next up is the Drygore Pcs line, or 90Weaps PC. Always get that confused, I'm just so used to the other name. Anyways, so they have a few different lines. This is the main one, and it is very long and you may be confused. As we see here, he says RLMAS, and that stands for Rapier, Long, Mace, Ascension, Seismic. This goes by main hands and then offhands. So if we look at this right now, you would look at that and you'd see this is the main hand rapier, or this is the main hand mace. Right here we've got the seismic wand, main hand ascension, there's the seismic singularity, and then there's the offhand ascension bow, crossbow, offhand rapier, offhand long, offhand mace. Yeah, that's the main line that has all of their items, and you usually won't need it just because that's more than 6 items. You can't really fill you can fill like 2 grand exchanges with that. But the lines that you'll be most used to is Drygore's. This is always in the same order. I believe that one is too, but it's still new item, so can't be sure what's definite yet. So Drygore's, it's always R, L, M. People ask the order all the time, and it's always exactly the same. R, rapiers, longs, then maces, and of course main hands and then off hands. Okay. And then the other line is, I wouldn't really call it a line, 2 of them actually. There's the Ascension, and that would just be main hand and offhand. As you see how he presents the Seismic line, it's basically the same thing, it's just ACS and then main hand, offhand. And that's same thing with Seismic, just size and then main hand, offhand. Alright guys, so I'm just going to be wrapping up this vid by explaining the PCing methods. So as I mentioned, this is why I'm making it into one vid and not 2, is because their PCing methods are basically identical. So as we see here, this is the 90Weaps PC line, and if we look at this, we have the main hand Drygore Rapier 97S, and you may be thinking that's what you sell for. In reality, S equals insta-sell / non-insta-buy. That's what it insta-sells for, and it's rounded down. Okay, and in this friend chat in 90Weaps PC, it's rounded to the nearest million. Okay, in R Quark, it's rounded to it depends on the item, but it's rounded to either the nearest 100k, the nearest mil, or the nearest like 50 mil. Those are the ones that are over max cash. And then next we see main hand Drygore Longsword. We have a B after that, and that's not buy, that's the insta buy / non-insta sell price, and that's rounded up. Okay, same thing with R Quark, that's what they round to, you know, the nearest 100k, nearest mil, whatever. Okay, so that's basically everything. The only other thing is how big you can expect the margins to be. With Drygore's, you expect roughly an 800k margin. Since this is insta-sell, you don't want an insta-sell, so you would buy for a little bit over. So 97 sell, you would buy for, so let's write this out, 97 sell, buy for 97.2, and then sell 97.8. That's roughly how big it should be. That's not an 800k margin, it depends on trends. It might be 0.1 and sell 97.9. It all really depends on the current trends. With Ascension crossbows, you can expect, I haven't really flipped them much, but I would say around a 3+ mil margin, just based on the price differentiation. I don't think that's a word, but yeah. So around 3 mil margins, possibly more. I know with Seismic Wand, I frequently see margins from my friends that are upwards of 20-25 mil. So you can just aim for at least 20 mil, and then based on the price change from that to that, I would say you can expect about 10 mil with this. As far as R Quark goes, the lower items like the lower Halloween masks, Easter, and Santa, you can expect roughly 1 mil profit per item you do, so 2 mil for each total flip, because it's 2-4. With party hats, you can expect 5 mil to 10 mil margins, depending on, just because they change so fast, and whether or not you're doing it in the Grand Exchange or Street. And lastly is the Christmas cracker and the other, like the white party hat and the blue party hat, that are more than max cash. Those you can expect huge profits depending on how much they've risen and stuff. You know, upwards of 50 mil, it's crazy. But yeah, that is basically everything for this vid. Be sure to like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you are subscribed, and I'll probably be doing a Warbands guide next. Let me know if there's something you're wanting to see, and I'll see you in the next one.